The Australian Ghost Whisperer with Katerina Legato and James Jennings.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Australian Ghost Whisperer. Katerina and James coming at you from the bush today.
Hello, James.
Hello, Kat. And you're a bushwalker. You like getting out in the bush and having a walk?
I love going into the bush for walks. It's my favourite pastime.
It's nice. There's lots of nice bushland around Sydney as well. So the reason we're here today is because obviously people hear about haunted houses, haunted properties, haunted buildings, and we kind of have this thing in our mind that like only buildings and houses that people have made can be haunted. But the truth is that you can find haunted places in nature. You can find places outside that have good energy, bad energy, good spirits, bad spirits. So sorry to tell you, if you think that you're avoiding haunted houses and you're like thinking I'm avoiding all that spooky stuff, guess what? If you go deep enough into nature, you're going to find that stuff as well. Katerina, is this true? Am I on the right track? Am I speaking? Am I dropping truth bombs on the people here?
You're getting really good, James. Hanging out with me has so educated you
on the
paranormal.
It has paranormal high school with Katerina.
You're almost ready for uni.
Almost ready for uni. I'm glad you said I'm almost ready for primary school, because if you said I was in kindergarten, I'd get a little bit upset. But
no, I feel you're at high school level.
Cool.
I feel soon we'll be taking you up to uni level.
If anyone's going to do it, Kat, it's definitely you.
Yeah, well, you're hanging out with the best.
I'm hanging out with the best tutor there is on the paranormal and all things freaky deaky. So yeah, but yeah, getting serious for a moment. Like, there are obviously nature holds energy. So let's talk about, I guess, nature holding energy, but then like specifically how there are beings. And I feel like the deeper you get into nature, the more you're going to be exposed to perhaps other life forms, other forms of energy, other beings.
So the deeper we go into the forest or into bushland, certain ley lines will hold a frequency of the past, of the history of the land, which goes back millions of years old. And so these are the types of energies that come together, that can hold and blend together with other dimensions and other realities. It's so where the two can meet. The physical reality can connect to a different reality. Everything is multidimensional. Everything is energy, so much more than just what we see, feel, taste, sense. So when we go deep into the land, there's always that kind of space for these realities to merge and come together. So it becomes like doorways where other entities or other beings from other dimensions or other realities can come in, can come through. Because also they can be quite curious about our physical dimension.
Right.
Just as we would be curious if we were able to, say, go to another planet, go visit Pluto, go visit Mars,
Sure.
go visit the moon. So are they, and so they enter into these spaces. And this is why often people say they've gone out camping and they've seen sightings of beings, of lights turning off and on, all of these things happening because they've been there and they have witnessed that transition, that time where entities or beings are coming through into a particular area.
Yeah. If you look at a lot of the myths and legends of our Indigenous population as well, you'll find talk about spirits in nature, beings in nature. People talk about things called the Mimin lights, which are basically orbs of light that you might see in the outback or the bush in the middle of nowhere. There are reports of truck drivers seeing them while driving late at night. There's, of course, the Yowie, which is, I guess, the Australian term for a Bigfoot. So, Americans say Bigfoot. Yeti's another word for it, but in Australia it's the Yowie. There's talk about Yowies deep in the forest. So there's definitely reports of beings that are out there. And is it something about nature where these beings can come through? I mean, obviously, if they don't want to get caught, the best place to do it is to be in the middle of nowhere. But is it something about the energy of a less populated area where there's no technology that allows them to come through in an easier fashion?
Yeah, exactly. And they're able to open up these portals where they can come through portals and come into the 3D reality. And I believe that, there are good beings, benevolent beings. There's also negative beings that are going to come in.
Yeah.
I think that being out at night in the bush, you could encounter some beautiful positive beings, but there's also a chance that you may encounter some really negative, malevolent beings.
Yes. Yeah.
Malevolent.
Malevolent.
Malevolent beings.
That's all right. So Katarina's so nice she doesn't even know how to pronounce malevolent.
No, I don't like malevolent beings. Malevolent.
It's a tongue twister. Malevolent.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't go venturing out unless you're going to be quite prepared that you may encounter.
Yeah.
And it could be dangerous.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we did interview an Indigenous healer a little while ago on an episode. I'll link that in the comments so you can watch it. But she spoke about how there are places in the bush that you can go and there are definitely places you should not go. And there are different reasons for that. Sometimes it can be because there's a sacred site. Sometimes there might be a site that holds negative energy. But there is definitely she talked about an education and a sense of where you can and can't go. I would say most Australians would not be tuned into that or be aware, but it sounds like there are places that should be off limits. Like if you go deep into the forest looking for trouble, you might actually find it.
I feel it has a lot to do with the history of land and what has taken place. We must remember that, history itself, where places where there's been bloodshed, there's been warring, there's been all of this, and the land still echoes the energy of those times. So when we walk through land where there's been bloodshed or war or death, you feel it. You can sometimes get that chill through your body where you feel, something's happened here. So land holds energy and everything is energy. So therefore, it's like when you walk through a cemetery, especially if you walk through a cemetery at night, there's always that eerie feeling because you've got death, you've got people buried in the land. So when you think about the history of the earth and how much energy and the whole footprint of everything that's transpired on land.
Yep. Katarina, in fairy tales, they often talk about haunted forests or you never go into the deep dark woods. And again, with fairy tales, you hear about beings out in the middle of nowhere, like forest sprites or elves or whatever creatures. Like there's always fairy tale stories about creatures deep in the woods. Now, do you think that comes from some kind of, past knowledge about beings that were traversing between realms that could be seen, hundreds of years ago? Do you think that these fairy tales are rooted in some kind of truth?
I believe they are true. Yeah, absolutely. Many fairy tales are like ancient myths, that carry so much truth. And, I've seen like little fairies and elves in the forest when I've gone through walking. I mean, everything holds a consciousness. You can communicate to the trees. You can, and the forest holds so many of these beautiful beings. Some of them are just so, nature spirits. And you often find that children will speak of, oh, Mum, I saw fairies or I saw little elves dancing or flying through the trees or landing on flowers. So absolutely, there are so many other realities and so many other dimensions and so many other life forms and consciousness that exist within nature. It's such an interesting place, and if you go out into nature and you meditate and you just get into that little quiet space, you will begin to sense and feel these beautiful little creatures around you, and they're really happy to communicate with you.
Yeah, and for people who are watching who are like, you know what, if I go on a bushwalk, I don't want to go into a bad spot. I don't want to go into a creepy spot. I think that it's probably the same as like going into a haunted house. When you go in, you can feel that there's a weird energy, there's a heavy energy. Often you'll feel like you're being watched or followed or whatever. If you're out in the bush somewhere, obviously the best test is if you feel that way, if you feel like you're being watched or I shouldn't be here or this place feels creepy, don't go there. That's probably the way to deal with it, right?
Oh, absolutely. And there could even be a physical person that's a bit crazy out there.
Sure.
So I feel like we should always follow our intuition. I mean, the best time is obviously in the morning, early in the morning, or just at, as the sun is setting, to go out and meditate and find yourself a beautiful spot where it feels good, and close your eyes and just set that intention that you wish to communicate with the nature spirits, because they're not going to be they're not going to bring any harm to you. And it's really a beautiful experience.
Yeah. I mean, the thought of, say, camping deep in the bush kind of scares me, because on one hand it could be fine and you could have those lovely nature spirits around watching, but also you could get the opposite. Like I'm a chicken. I don't know if I'd go camping deep in the bush. Would you?
It would really depend on, I'd have to tap into the area first and kind of get a sense or a feel if it's a safe area, because again, you might go camping on a piece of land where there was a lot of bloodshed and warring and torture, and those spirits may still be there, and that energy, and of course that's going to affect you.
Yeah.
You're going to feel that energy flowing through your own body. So I feel that we have to remain aware of, if we're going to go camping, to kind of really get a sense and a feel for, okay, this is a really nice spot, this feels good, or no, this doesn't feel so good. We all have that inner intuition, and I believe it's important to use that. But that's like we spoke a while back. We did a video about blessing your land, going out into your own backyard and do a little ritual, bless the land, give thanks to the nature spirits, give thanks to the trees, and ask for your land to be blessed. I think it's such a beautiful thing. If everybody did that, it would bring more harmony and more love into our earth, which is very much needed. Yeah,
exactly. And that also reminds me, we did an episode a little while ago with an Indigenous artist named Brett, and Brett told us that what he did when he moved on to a new piece of land is he actually, got down and touched the land and asked for permission to be there.
Oh, yeah.
And he felt, and by being in a state where you have a still mind, you'll get a sense of if you've been granted permission or not. So it's probably best to actually get into that quiet meditative state when you're on land, put your hand on the earth and just get a sense of do I have permission? So, even asking permission to be on the land is something that 99% of people do not do. So you're probably going to do yourself a big favour by doing it, I'd say.
When I moved to Katoomba, I got a whole bunch of crystals and I blessed them and I charged them up, and I just went through my piece of land and I put crystals around my land as a gift to the land, as a thank you for allowing me to be here.
Oh, great. That's a lovely idea.
So, just little things like that really changed the energy. And I remember not long after I did that, I was inside meditating, but I was looking out there. I've got a big huge pine tree in my backyard, and all of a sudden, after I'd done the crystal ritual, the tree just turned gold.
Oh, wow.
And it was like this golden energy of gratitude, and I felt so much love. It was really special. So I felt like, yes, we accept you here and welcome.
I love that.
It was beautiful. So if I think humans need to learn to really live more in harmony with the land, but also communicate with it. It allows us to we can walk through this land. We can live our lives, and we mustn't forget the gratitude and the love. If you're moving into a home, whether you've bought the home, whether you're renting, it doesn't really matter. But go into your yard, and no matter where you live, and give thanks to that land. It's allowing the house that you live in. It's allowing your kids to go and run around and play in the land. It's a form of protection.
Yeah, absolutely. As the kids say, touch grass.
Yeah.
Go out and touch grass.
The grounding is beautiful, you know. Take your shoes off, walk in the grass. Yeah.
Yep.
Communicating to nature, it's so wise. Like, look at our trees, you know, they're millions of years old. You know, touch them with your hand. Just connect via your heart chakra. Connect to the trees. Connect to the land via your heart, and allow it to communicate with you, and it will respond.
Yep.
It will respond.
I love that. I love that. Nice way to tune into nature. Get out there, meditate. Get your bare feet on the ground.
So healthy
Yeah.
for mind, body and spirit. I think we've become, you know, a society where we spend so much time indoors now with
Yes.
technology. Even children, they're not playing outside as much
No.
anymore because they're inside with computers and video games, and we've forgotten the gratitude and the love and the healing that nature holds for us.
Yep.
Sitting in the sun for 15 minutes every day is so healing for your body, for your energy field. Laying in the grass when you're feeling drained and tired and, you know, you've had a really hard day, if you can, go and lay out in the grass and just feel Mother Earth beneath you. Our Mother Earth is a consciousness in itself, and she holds so much love for us, and we forget to give her that love in return, to give gratitude for her. We're surrounded. Nature is the most beautiful part of this world. It is, you know, it holds so much wisdom and healing and knowledge and so much beauty.
Yeah, it's a big living organism,
It
and we've got to
really-
treat it as such.
Yeah, exactly.
And as a living organism, we're all connected. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
It's the part of our world that's very real, that holds truth. And I always feel that the trees and nature hold the essence of our Creator also.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So, you know, get out there, hug a tree. It's the way to do it. Actually, speaking of trees, funny story. A friend of mine. Okay, so he may have taken magic mushrooms, but he was out in nature and he was communicating with nature, and he said he could hear the trees laughing at him. And he said, "Why are you laughing at me?" And they were laughing. They're like, "You humans do everything in such a rush. You don't know how to slow down." Like the trees said to him, "You don't know how to slow down and just enjoy being." And I was like, that is some pretty cool wisdom to get from a tree.
Very much so. But, you know, when I've been stuck on the M4, you know how there's sections where there's trees along
Yeah,
the M4?
yeah.
And I've been stuck in traffic, and I sit there and I look at those trees, and honestly, they tell me how sad they are because they're just so polluted from all the fumes of the car. And I feel their pain.
Yeah.
I honestly feel their pain, and it's so sad.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, be good to nature. Get out in nature. Australia is one of the most beautiful places on the planet in terms of our different landscapes and climates and everything. So, you know, get out there, give some love. Get off your phones. Get off your iPads. Get away from your computers. Again, touch some grass, and that's probably what you should be doing right now.
Yeah, get your kids out as much as you can. Seeing so many children that are withdrawn and becoming depressed, and because they're not getting the sunlight, and
Yeah.
you know that we did as kids. You know, we used to come home from school and run around till it was almost dark.
Yeah,
and
get muddy and
yeah, get in the land and play and laugh. Whereas these days, these kids come home from school and it's like, oh, now you got to go to the dance class, and now you got to go to footy class, and now you got to go to this
yeah.
and that. And it's this constant, you know, which I'm
Yeah.
not saying is a bad thing, but they need downtime.
there's no slowing down.
Yeah, and when they do slow down, instead of sitting in front of a video game, they should be outside playing in their backyard or whatever, you know. I just feel it's so important, because otherwise, you know, these kids do grow up and they just become withdrawn, and they're pale and they're not healthy. We get so much beautiful vitamin D from
Yeah.
the sun.
Yeah, yeah. And just to sort of, you know, prove that we practice what we preach, we were in a haunted building this morning, and we are not outside by chance. Like, we were like, we need to get out in the sunshine, get in the trees, and you do rejuvenate, and you kind of like just shed that heavy energy that you might pick up being in a place that doesn't have good vibes.
Absolutely, yeah. It was lovely to actually sit in the sun for a few hours after that haunted building. And it's like it cleansed our auras, cleansed our energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to always do that when I was seeing clients at the end of the day, especially daylight saving. If I got home in time to just go outside and stand in the sun for a while, I just felt rejuvenated and refreshed.
That's the way to do it. Well, now that we've done all this talking, maybe, and the people have watched or listened to us, thank you very much for doing so. Go outside. Go and touch grass, hug a tree.
Yeah,
go for
thank
a walk.
your land.
Thank your land.
Give your land some love.
Exactly, which is what we're going to do right now, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's beautiful. We're in a gorgeous space.
it's lovely. Well, thank you for watching and listening. We love you all, and we're very happy that we can even do episodes outside amongst trees and in the sunshine. It's been lovely. So thank you. And we will be back again soon with more shenanigans.
More shenanigans. Lots of love to you all. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
To gain access to private spiritual development classes, guided meditations, please visit www.patreon, that's patreon.com/The Australian Ghost Whisperer.